Good afternoon, folks. It's day 12 of Festival Diaries, kind of like 12 days of festivals. I'm back in the Airbnb for one final night before heading off, probably to Napier tomorrow. So Revive Festival recap on Revive. Oh my goodness. So the Festival Diary that I did yesterday with Sasha on the couch was about an hour before the rain really came down. Torrential downpour. And when this happened, I was in the cacao tent with Sasha and Franco, and there was literally a river running through the cacao tent. You probably saw some footage on Instagram. It just got intense. It took out the tents, it took out everything. So they had to turn off all the generators, all the stages got washed out. Everybody assembled in the barn, and it was like, okay, you're either in the mystery stage, which was where all the drumming and the acoustic stuff was happening, so no electrics, or you're in your van, and that was pretty much your only choices. So it's an interesting thing when a festival gets kind of rained out in terms of whether, when I'm knowing that it was quite likely that it was going to happen. So when it did happen, it was almost like I'd been waiting for it the whole time. And I was delighted. It was just like this grand unfolding adventure of awesomeness, because this was the play, this was the dance for this time around. And the general mood of the festival was pretty freaking awesome, actually. And I didn't go to the mystery stage, but I heard from other people that they had an amazing time. Kayla, who you might have seen on my stories this morning, she's like, yeah, it was my favorite moment of the festival was when the rain came down and we all gathered in the mystery stage. And that's what I love about just that total surrender to what is happening, to what is unfolding. Hard for the organisers, really hard for the organisers. I know that they would have sold a lot of day tickets normally on a Friday, Saturday. Yeah, they would have had a lot of people just come in for the Saturday from Gisborne. And because of the rain, those people didn't come in. And it's hard on the stall holders. It takes an enormous amount of mahi, of work, of energy, of love to bring a festival together and to hold the space so that all of these people can come and go through what is in essence, transformational experience. So just so much love to the whole team, Jock and Pam and the rest of the brothers whose names I don't know, unfortunately. And the landowner whose name I also don't know. I really hope that the grass grows back pretty quick. I'm pretty sure it will, but there was, again, if you see the stories and you see the socials, so much mud. So from 6 a.m. this morning, they had to use a tractor. It's the only way to get vehicles out, was they had to be pulled out by the tractor. So people were just being tractored out from 6 a.m. this morning, and I just got a text, I think it's 5 p.m. On Sunday afternoon right now. I just got a text from a friend saying we were the last ones to be pulled out, and they've just come out. So that's almost 12 hours of tractors pulling cars and buses and vans out of the mud, out of the field. They weren't parked on the mud, it was just you had to drive the paths to get out, but they were muddy. So I was able to get out with ease. I was in day parking and gave my keys to Franco. She said, Franco, you drive me out, please. And he just drove straight through the river. And he and Sasha we went out for dinner, which was really nice to just sit down, the three of us, and have some really epic conversations about all the different things that are happening in the community, because there's a lot going on and a lot happening in the safe space area. And one of the things that people don't realise is how much mahi is happening in the background. I know there's a lot of noise out there right now about Ngāko Bear coming to NZ Spirit, but behind the scenes there's so much research being done and conversations around it, and there's heaps happening, but nothing's being communicated yet because everything's still being sussed out. So this is the interesting thing too. It's I'm living this life right now where it's work. I'm showing up and doing all these different things with these different people that I'm involved in projects with, and these people are all my dearest friends. And there's a social element, it's I'm at a party, but at that party, the work is still happening, still holding space, still attending to needs, still making sure everything's being taken care of, and really working with the community on a deeper level. So today I drove back in at probably around 9:30 because I just wanted to be on the land and to be present and to see where everyone was at, to sort of feel the emotional temperature and just do whatever was required. And what ended up happening was this most beautiful closing ceremony. So last night they did an impromptu closing ceremony at the mystery stage, but I wasn't there for that. I heard it was amazing and incredible. And then today everyone was packing up underneath this tree. It was a beautiful big tree. It was so stunning. And a spontaneous circle started to gather because a few people were getting ready to leave. And we were like, oh, let's do ceremony. And so we did. We all just dropped in together. And everyone went around and shared what they'd received from being at the festival and what the experience was like and what they're bringing from being at the festival out there into the world. It was an amazing circle. It probably took like an hour and a half. We had like maybe 8 or 9 of us, but then other people would kind of join, so then they'd have to be included, which they were, and it was beautiful. And at one point we had someone bring over pancakes, like he just cooked up pancakes on the cooker on the grass, you know. So then we had like prasad to close our ceremony off. And Dane Scott, he played some of the toonga, the Māori instruments. Oh my goodness, it was just extraordinary. Like, there was a lot of magic in that circle in terms of the different kinds of gifts and energies that people were bringing to the space. Yeah, and when one of the women, Rachel, was speaking, she was so clear. She was so clear. It really it triggered for me a remembrance of what it was like when I went to my first festival at Shambhala in 2004, August 2004, which was when I had this massive awakening, first festival I'd ever been to, that after I came home from the festival, my heart was breaking because of what was happening with my fiance and I. And that combination of like full expansion but breaking heart, it just like I was trying to contain, I was trying to hold, and it just caused this big split, and I ended up in the psych ward. And it took me 11 years before I felt safe enough to go back to a festival again. So I'm in the closing circle and Rachel's speaking, and all of a sudden it was like I was at Shambhala, and I was really remembering, I was 29 at the time, and a lot of people in the circle, they're around that age. And I was just remembering what had unfolded for me and how incredibly alone I felt. Like I felt like I was in this magical, extraordinary place, but I also felt like I couldn't communicate with anyone, and my heart was breaking, and I had all this emotion, and so in the closing circle, it was like the samskara, the undigested emotional experience from there, I just started sobbing, in the circle, and I felt so held and so safe. I had Amy beside me, and she's from Canada as well, Saskatchewan, and I could really feel her presence. So it felt like this huge, huge healing for me, and such a beautiful way to close out Revive. And I feel like I know Sasha and I said this last night, but I feel so revived, considering I've just pretty much done 12 days of festivals back to back. Part of it's because I've been at this beautiful Airbnb the whole time. This is the Four Winds in Gisborne. Like, if you need to come and stay at an Airbnb, it's at Wainui Bay. Linda is the owner, and she's just been a beautiful, supportive, amazing host. Made me feel really at home and just really cared for as well. So it's been real luxury to be able to come back here and have a shower and have a good night's sleep, and then go back into the festival and just hold space again and really feel all the disparate energies that are unfolding in a festival. So recap on Revive. If I was to sum it up, I'd say that Revive lives up to its name. If you need reviving, come to Gisborne next year, come do Revive. It's a small, intimate, heartfelt, beautiful festival. So much manaakitanga, the manaakitanga. I felt so cared for, so cared for, so cared for. Yeah, so, and tonight a few more of my friends are coming to join here at the Airbnb, and we're going to do a bit of debriefing and a bit more work as well, media company stuff, so that's exciting to see what unfolds from that. I think I'm getting into the groove of the festival diaries now. I really, like, it's somewhat challenging to keep showing up day after day after day, because you know, you'll see all the different facets of me as such. And I feel like, as always, things are being burned off. I feel like I'm becoming more exposed and more naked. It's a challenging thing to do. It's really challenging to show up and be seen. So I'm going to end on that. To all the people out there who are leaning in and showing up, even though it's scary as fuck, and allowing themselves to be seen. Yeah, just sending you big, big love.